Hello, my name is Joseph Yaisley, and I'm currently a student in the Masters of Education in Secondary Education at Grand Canyon University. I wanted to talk a little bit today about how my teaching philosophy has grown throughout my student teaching and Masters of Education program courses. I started out by beginning to think that teaching was just all about the methods and strategies that you used. But as I've learned more through my coursework as well as through experience in the classroom, now being a second year teacher, I learned that classroom management is a big part of that. I use various strategies for that. First and foremost is setting the ground rules of my expectations for the students. Then I have to make sure I enforce those. I also like to incorporate proximity and be out among the students and other things along these lines to help keep them engaged and hopefully on task. The other thing that really I think is important is recognizing the needs of your students. The current generation that's going through the high school right now, it has a lot of different needs than the ones I grew up with and the ones that maybe you grew up with as well. I think recognizing those needs is extremely important. They're not students who necessarily just want to be told what to do, but they want to be explained what they need to know and why they need to know it. I think getting to know your students is a huge part of understanding what it is that they're looking for in their educational experience and allowing them to have some say in how they go about learning what they need to learn. I also have found that through this new change and what the students are looking for, the teacher has become less just a person who stands at the front of the class and educates their knowledge on a subject matter, but also more of a facilitator of the students' learning. We have to find ways to differentiate our teaching strategies as well as methods that we use and technology that we integrate into the classroom to reach each student. That brings me to the next thing, which is the importance of technology in today's classroom. I think this is just a paramount thing when it comes to reaching and engaging your students. They're used to having a device in their hand at all times, and so if we take that away from them, they don't know how to act. We can argue if that's good or bad, but the fact of the matter is they've grown up with technology and they expect to use it in the classroom. In order to engage them fully, we need to incorporate that in there. We can do this through use of Chromebooks, iPads, whatever your school may have available. Currently in the classroom I'm in, we don't have a whole lot within the classroom. We can rent stuff and bring it in, but we don't have it every day. I use simple things like PowerPoints and my iPad to create a slate so I can be out among the students while I'm teaching and still putting things on the board. That way I can monitor what they're using and differentiate my teaching directly to what they're going through. I think this use of technology, though, allows us again to create custom learning paths for our students. And this is just so important because as we learn as teachers, each student needs something a little bit different and is at a little bit different spot in their education. If we are able to reach them where they're at through programs on the computer or through other ways we can facilitate their learning, we're only going to enhance their ability to obtain the information and engage in it as well. The last part of what I think is really important is my Christian worldview. As a believer and follower of Jesus Christ, I think it's important to show a lot of the attributes that he shows as well. Things like compassion, promotion of human flourishing, legal and ethical behavior. I think all of these are important and can be demonstrated just through basic professionalism within what you're doing. But the big one that I find really important is servant leadership. I try to do my best in the classroom to serve my students and to meet their needs. It may not always tie into exactly how I want things to run, but students aren't running on my schedule as much as I want them to. They have outside things that are pulling them and pushing them in different directions. And yes, I want them to learn the content that I think is important and that my class is based around. But at the end of the day, I need to meet them where they're at. And a lot of times that means me serving them, finding ways to connect with them, finding ways to get them the information that they need through service. And so I try my best to create relationships with my students where they feel that they're being served and not just told what to do. And I think that relationship piece leads to success in the classroom. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Again, my name is Joseph Yaisley, and I'm excited to be graduating soon with my master's in education.